All right, finally, they let me in. They let me in my own chat. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, YouTube guys. This is a live chat, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to address this one time, one way, no return. I hope this is the Karceno account, which I believe it is by the number of people that's showing up. What's up, Mr. Minor? I see you. Charles Rayford Jr., what's going on? You sound like a country singer. What's up? Peace. Oh, good morning to you. I got a little bit of sleep. Didn't eat anything yet. But now I want to get into this. I gave you guys plenty of time to get in. Other people will probably get in a little later. You know, a bunch of the potheads are not up yet. Thank you. Oh, you're up and you're looking for pot. Okay. That explains a lot. Now, when we talk about Ray Lewis, we're talking about one of the greatest linebackers, middle linebackers that probably ever played. Ever. Like, I think of Mike Singletary, Buckus, you know, the people that came and played that position before him. He changed a lot of how that position should be played and how it is played to this day. Ray Lewis is incredible. Everything he done on the field is remarkably never going to be broken. I don't think by any linebacker in the period of time that they've played. Ray Lewis had the support of the people when he was going through a murder trial that threatened his not only his career but his livelihood. That even if you found not guilty, most athletes don't come back from. Not only did he come back from it, he won the MVP that year, most valuable player, and he won the Super Bowl. Now, what Ray Lewis has done because of that has become a beacon for the Baltimore Ravens. As he got near the twilight of his career, he was so caught into the rapture of being idolized. He liked being a role model. He liked being an inspirational figure and talked to the kids, and everybody loved him. Now he aligned himself. Long as everything aligned with the Baltimore Ravens or the company or whoever takes care of Ray Lewis, everything would be okay. Then becomes, and this happens a lot, when there becomes an issue where you have to make a decision. Company and the people are not seeing eye to eye. And when you're not trying to understand the people and you're being pro company, trying to find ways to protect the company and the brand of the company over the people, then you're going to see a change. You aligned yourself with the wrong person. I've heard a lot of people in B More said Ray Lewis has done nothing for them. But Ray Lewis did raise a lot of money. He did donate some money to the neighborhoods. I don't know where the money went, but at least I know he did that. Should his statue be taken down? I'm not a big statue person anyway. You know, like God said, thou shalt not bow before any engraven image. So I'm not about bowing before statues and praising statues. Not a statue guy at all. But Shannon did say, like, hey, I'll put 2 up. Does he deserve, for what he did as a football player, to have his statue up there? Absolutely. If you're going to put anybody out there, especially the Ravens, Ray Lewis statue should be up there. But here's why I wanted to talk about the statue situation. They're basing this off of the actions of what Ray Lewis doing. They're making you believe that the blacks started this. And Shannon Sharp brought this up on the show when he said that Ray told him he was getting death threats. They threatening his family's life. They threatening to take his statue down. Now, everybody omits the fact that Ray Lewis said they was threatening his family's life. They focused only on the statue. Why is that? Somebody's life is being threatened. They omit that and go right to the statue. You see? They go right to Ray Lewis statue. Now, why threaten a man's family? Because if you threaten a man's family, everybody can get a line with that. They will all get in line for that and say, hey, that's wrong. You don't threaten a man's family. But if you say about a statue, it's like, good for him. But see, the situation is this. Who's sending the threats? Who's talking about taking down the statue? Whose idea was it? You see, they want to give you the appearance as if the blacks started it. This came from white people. Newsflash. The threats he's been getting was because he took the knee over in London with the team. The petition to take his statue down came down once he took the knee over there in London. They started a boycott to take down his statue. That didn't come from us. But they're giving the appearance that blacks started it. Blacks want his statue down. Because blacks is like, yeah, there you go. Take down Ray's statue. They want that. So they started the petition. We didn't. Ray playing one side. Ray playing company side. That's it. Because Ray is not going to do that. Ray ain't going to tell you that. Ray ain't going to tell you it ain't the brothers that's threatening him. Ray ain't going to tell you that. Nobody black talking about they finna come after his family. We don't do that stuff. We not savages like that. Only when he went to London and took that knee did he get those death threats. But he didn't come out and say that. We didn't start no petition to get his statue taken down. They got all these signatures on them. What they did that. and went and got people to get on board. That's why Tuesday he went on the show to backpedal. To show them, I didn't take a knee, y'all. Don't threaten my family. I ain't do nothing. I ain't take no knee. I didn't turn my back on the military. Now, my thing is this. You could never do that to the cops and military. Came out your mouth. Cops and military. What did the cops and military do to protect you and your family when this was done? What did they do about your petition? Where's the cops? Where's the military speaking up for Ray Lewis? Saying, y'all wrong about this man. Don't take his statue down. Where are the cops and military for that? Why are you taking up for them and they're not taking up for you? See, you see what I'm saying, Ray? And Ray, since you watch Twitter, I sent you this. If anybody know, tag Ray Lewis in it so he can see it. Because I want him to understand this. We're not threatening you. We didn't really start a petition to take you down. They did. They did. And you know it. You know they did it. But you won't go on TV and say they did it. You would rather let the world believe it was people that look like you that started to take it, the petition to take down your statue. We don't think that far ahead. We keep the problem direct. It's F you, Ray. You see? That's what we do. Ray Coon Lewis. You coon. That's about as far as we gonna do. We rather cuss you out than say, we're gonna take your statue down. Yeah. And threaten your family's life. We don't do that type of stuff. And you know that. But if we saw you walk down the street, oh, you best believe some brother gonna cuss you out. That's something we definitely finna do. They see you, they gonna definitely cuss you out. That's it. But the thing is, everybody can go along, and you need to be asking the press, Ray, why aren't they talking about your family's life being threatened? Why are they only talking about your statue? These are the type of questions you need to ask yourself, Ray. No. You know, we know if we do any of these threats and crimes, we going to jail. Ain't no trial. They just go in there to figure out how much time they finna give us. So we know guidelines. We know that there's ramifications for things like threats. Especially at that extreme. Plus, we're not savages like that. We don't do that type of terrorism on people. That's not our nature. So we don't do those type of things like threatening dudes' families. And we're not thugs. Thugs wouldn't be trying to contact Ray Lewis like that. Trying to get his address and contact. That's not what we do. That's what they do. They get your emails and family addresses and send letters in the mail. They do all that stuff. We don't go through the effort. We just, if we see you at the stadium, you gonna get cussed out. That's probably it. They gonna cuss you out on Twitter. They'll cuss you out on something else. But that's going to be the extent of it. But Ray, ask them, why won't you come out and say, I don't want people to think this was started by people that look like me? Because it wasn't. Not to go to that extreme. And you didn't have these type of problems. Nobody was threatening you about taking your life and doing all this stuff until you went over there to London and you took that knee. And that whole day Sunday, everybody was talking about Ray Lewis, how he done switched up now. Now he's taking a knee. And you went out of your way Tuesday to make sure the world knew I was not taking a knee. I was on 2 knees praying because it backfired. Once it backfired, and Ray wants to be loved by everybody. He missed that. That's why he's always on Twitter and reacting to everything. Oh, this gonna look bad on me. So that's why he got so mad at Shannon Sharp. That's why he got so mad, because people could see through the cooning. People could see you're not fooling nobody. People know cooning when they see it. They know you kissing up to this owner. They know you pro company. He's trying to tell you, why couldn't your owner put Colin Kaepernick on the team? You couldn't come up with a reason to defend the man. This the same owner who hasn't come out once and said one thing about Ray Lewis or his statue. Where's the owner? The one that you say he's such a great man. He did all this for me. Why don't he come out and say, hey, Ray Lewis statue is staying right here. I don't care what you sign. Ray Lewis has done great for this community. Why nobody sticking up for you, Ray? Where they at? Why they ain't sticking up for you, Ray? But you done so much for the military and so much for the cops. But not one of them is doing anything for you. You ever thought about that, Ray? This great owner, which I don't care if he signed Colin Kaepernick or not. I really don't. But if they don't want to put Colin Kaepernick on their team, that's their prerogative. It only would have helped their team. It wouldn't have put them in no greater or lesser situation. You had a quarterback that was starting, that was injured, and you had an inept quarterback try to go in there and play, rather than getting a quarterback who knows the system. He's African American. You're in a city that is probably the second largest African American city next to Washington, D.C. B-More is predominantly almost all black. But yet, and still, you come with the nonsense. And I just want everybody to know. Because they're going to lose. The media switch it and put it all in perspective to make it look like the brothers is doing all this. And it ain't even us. We just co-sign with the movement. Oh, they want to sign a petition to take down Ray's statue? Good for them. We didn't come up with that idea. We did not come up with it at all. Ray, you need to watch this. Goodbye, Uncle Tom. Watch Goodbye, Uncle Tom. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. See what happens. See what happens when you love admiration so much. When your drug of choice is admiration, and you're addicted to it. The moment you're not seen in that light, in the public perception, you do anything you can to try to change it back. Change the narrative. And you just dig yourself deeper and deeper in the hole. Whew. Sinuses, buddy. When you get up in the morning, them sinuses. Now, here's the situation. Who is harassing who? People are protesting because an NFL player, or they're frustrated because the NFL owners decided not to put a guy who was deserving to be on a team because he decided to kneel down during the national anthem. That's how this all started. Now they're kneeling. And all the owners that wouldn't let Colin Kaepernick on the team. All of them are now kneeling. With the coaching staff, the water boy, everybody's kneeling. Standing in unison. But not one of them has gave Cap a job. What is your excuse for keeping him out now? You can't say he disrespected the flag or the anthem, because then you just did that. So why is he not on the team? I'm not saying, voice your opinion. We could see McNabb and all these other guys get quarterback jobs and bounce around the league for 8 years. They'd be backups for 8 years, just going from team to team. It's like, why? How? This guy don't even play. How does he have a job? But if you black, you out in 10 minutes? RG3 can't get on a team. And he at least led the team to the playoffs and won a division in his rookie year. Yet and still he got injured. Michael Vick could have still won games. He wasn't even injured. You mean to tell me he couldn't be a backup? Michael Vick wasn't even outspoken. Michael Vick has been nothing. He has never been a problem. Do you understand? The only thing he did was that whole dogfighting thing. And they made him the face of dogfighting. When dogfighting is still going on right now in the world. And in the South, in Florida, all those states, Georgia, Florida, Southern, they have dogfighting organizations. And they all want to put that on Michael Vick because he was an athlete. Okay. He was an athlete. He shouldn't be involved. He has paid his debt in full. And then some. Then he wanted to own a dog. Y'all was, no, you can't own dogs. You kill animals. So you fought him when he tried to go and get a dog. He's the face of dog fighting. That's another thing I was gonna mention. Donovan McNabb. The people of Philly, y'all let idiots in Philly tell you Donovan McNabb wasn't worth it. The Eagles used to go to the NFC Championship game like every year. They went to the Super Bowl for the first time ever with Donovan McNabb. Donovan McNabb isn't the reason you lost the Super Bowl. And here's the thing that gets me. Man, McNabb cost us the Super Bowl. T.O. was snapping on one leg. You see what T.O. was doing out there? McNabb was in, he throwing up in the huddle. And I'm sitting there going, how is T.O. snapping? Who throwing him the ball? Because I'm like, is he throwing the ball to himself? How is he getting the ball? You talking about he's snapping. How is he snapping? Who gave him the ball to snap? You guys ain't had a quarterback since McNabb. Y'all never gave McNabb a player in his life. Who was his wide receivers? Avant. He had Avant. He had T.O. was the only receiver he got. He had played with T.O. for 1 year, and they went to the Super Bowl. And T.O. didn't even play in the playoffs. He came back for the Super Bowl. So they got to the Super Bowl without him. And they got him so that they would get to the next level. They had lost 3 straight NFC Championship games. They went to the NFC Championship game at least 6 times with Donovan McNabb. At least 6. Now they barely, can they even make the playoffs? Now they got Carson Wentz. Everything's right in the world. And this guy, McNabb, is one of the most accurate passers in NFL history. Warren Moon had to go play 5-6 years in the Canadian League before he played in the NFL. He would own all passing records in the NFL had he played those years. If you add his Canadian League stats to his NFL stats, he would have every record in the NFL. And still in his 40s can throw a more accurate dime than any, well, not in his 40s now. He's in his 50s and still can throw an accurate dime. Better than these quarterbacks today. No, Steve McNair was better than a lot of these other quarterbacks. Don't compare Steve McNair to another black quarterback. Compare him to the Peyton Mannings, the John Elway. Put him up there with them. See, with black quarterbacks, they always pair them up with other black quarterbacks. As to say, you're not good enough to be compared with the white ones. You're good enough to be compared with another black one. That's crazy. They used to compare Warren Moon and Randall Cunningham all the time. It was so disrespectful. They would call Randall Cunningham Warren Moon. And call Warren Moon Randall Cunningham. And say, oh, that's my fault. It's a mistake. And Michael Vick went through the same criticism Randall Cunningham did. He's not like Joe Montana. Joe Montana stays in the pocket and throws the ball. He's just a runner. He's just an extra tall running back who decides to throw the ball. So Randall Cunningham decided to change his game because he kept being criticized. And instead of running and taking off and getting first downs and making things happen with his legs and throwing when the opportunity was there and being Randall Cunningham, he tried to be, oh, thank you, shoe girl. Thank you. I appreciate it. Shoe girl. So instead, he decided that he was going to be like Joe Montana. He stood in the pocket. A linebacker dived at his knees, broke his leg, and he was out. And he's like, see, that's what I get. I deserve that because I was listening to y'all tell me I'm not a pocket passer, and I tried to prove y'all wrong. And look what happened. Then you have another situation. Michael Vick. How time always go back around in a circle. Michael Vick is shattering all records. He's going to the playoffs. He's taking the Falcons to heights they've never been. Next thing you know, he's the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Everybody wants to play him. And the Michael Vick experience. Michael Vick was the biggest thing in the world. What does they knock on him? He can't pass. Strong arm. He can't make a pass. He can't make a throw. What did he do? Michael Vick wanted to try to pocket pass. And he had one game where he just threw, and like, why can't Vick play like this every day? And he was like, look, I did it. I'm done with it. I'm not going to do that no more. Just stay in the pocket all day and pass the ball. He should have never tried to do that. He got comfortable doing that. Next thing you know, he's getting sacked. He's getting hit from behind when he never used to do that. Then Mike injured his knee doing that. Cam Newton. They tried to put the label on Cam. Same thing. Mobile quarterback, pocket passer. Cam Newton gets out there. His rookie year, he throws for over 4,000 yards. He throws for over 4,000 yards as a rookie. And they called him a mobile quarterback. He likes to run. He needs to pass more in the pocket. He threw for 4,000 yards as a rookie in his rookie season. Passed for 4,000 yards. In college, passed for that many yards. He didn't just take off. Byron Leftwich is going to probably go down as one of the best Jacksonville Jaguars quarterbacks of all time. He was a big, strong arm who was just not. His thing was Byron Leftwich's problem. He wasn't that good. He wasn't accurate with his throws. He was a big, strong country boy. And he had a hard time battling weight. And he was a big boy. So when you're a big guy like that and you can't get yourself in shape, these situations happen. He just wasn't at that level and talent of the athletes I'm telling you. Like, he's not Cam Newton. Like, Cam could pass. Cam can make these throws, and he can make plays with his feet. Now, they want to punish Cam for doing this. Cam became the face of the NFL just 2 years ago. He was the biggest thing ever because he's everything. They can't hate on Cam because he passes from the pocket. He runs if there's an opportunity. He's clean cut. He don't have tattoos. He could speak English without using profanity. He kept a nice haircut. He was astute. People loved him. He was an ambassador of the sport. But there was just one flaw with Cam, wasn't it? He was black. And the NFL just couldn't have that. Not in the position that they they hold dear to their heart, that's supposed to be the leader of the team, the face of the franchise, that got to be for the good old guy from Tennessee, from Michigan, the quarterback. Got to be a 6 foot tall white guy that can throw a ball and lead the team. That's the way it's supposed to be. So, when he won MVP that year, yeah, Cam was amazing. And when he didn't do what they wanted him to do, because they put him in the Super Bowl, they got to the Super Bowl, and this is what they wanted to have happen. They wanted this to be an example. The pocket passer versus the mobile quarterback who runs. They wanted to show people the pocket quarterback is still the position, and look what a pocket passer can do against the mobile quarterback. They wanted Peyton Manning to burn it up out there on the field, but Peyton was done. The defense carried them and had to carry Peyton Manning all the way to the championship. They put Peyton there because they thought Peyton could at least do something. And he had some flashes of Peyton Manning, but he didn't. And it ended up being his last game ever because he was done. I mean, but Peyton was in his heyday, yes, he was good as a pocket passer. But I'm doing this to get to a point. I'm taking a whole big circle. The very next season, after this game, the Super Bowl was over. The media was coming down on Cam on media day on Super Bowl. Cam cuts it short, stops talking, get up and leave. He didn't get mad at the media. He was mad because he's doing an interview next to the Denver Broncos players, and they boasting. Like, we knew Cam was going to give it up, and we kept doing this. So he's hearing all this in his ear, and he don't want to hear it. So he got up, and he left. But when you did that, it made him public enemy number 1 in the NFL. The very next season, it was a target on Cam's back. The NFL refs were swallowing the whistle. They would not call roughing the passer, and the players could just run in and hit helmet to helmet on Cam Newton, and there was no flags for it. They kept doing it till he was injured. He got concussion protocol. And a lot of people think he has early CTE. You look at Cam now and look at Cam 2 years ago. Cam looks terrible now. He's still injured from his shoulder surgery. He's not passing the ball correctly. And it shows. And look at his personality now. Look at Cam today. Used to be clean cut. Used to have a lining. Hair used to be waved. He used to be very astute. Now look at him. Blonde hair. Hair all wild. Blonde goatee. He's talking crazy. Just off the top of his head now. It's personality change. It's one of the first signs of early CTE when they start doing things out of character. Now, let's take you back to why I did this. You had Joe Montana. That's what everybody modeled themselves to be. The John Elways. Not even John. They didn't really like John. Terry Bradshaw. Staubach, and Joe Montana. Those were the guys you were supposed to be. Those pocket passers. John Elway was criticized because John Elway used to run. Dan Marino too. I would say Dan. Dan got put on a pedestal, even though he didn't never get back to the Super Bowl. John played in what? 5 Super Bowls in his career. But that plateau was reserved for not even Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly didn't even get there. Those spots were reserved for Dan Marino, the greatest passer of the football. They would let Dan in that room. John Elway would not. Terry Bradshaw, his hate for John Elway was unmatched by anything in the world because John Elway ran. He would make plays happen with his feet if he need to, throw the football, no problem. Then now John is beloved. But they wouldn't let John in there until John finally broke the mold and won the Super Bowl, and as great as he was all those years. But they never bashed him like the press. Only other NFL elites would do. But Steve Young, who came in with the same team basically that Joe had when Joe left and decided to go play elsewhere, Steve Young was in there taking the helm. When Steve Young was in there taking the helm, do you know what happened? Steve Young had more rushing yards. He was equally rushing and passing. They raved for Steve Young. They raged for Steve Young. Steve Young ran all through the 90s. It was no problem for Steve Young to run and pass the ball. He was a marvel. Why they bashing black quarterbacks for doing it? So it's not about mobile quarterback. It's about we don't want black quarterbacks. We're losing all our positions on this field to blacks. We need to keep some whites on the field, and we all can't play the offensive line. So, and the quarterback is normally the leader of the team. He needs to be white. That's all it is. Oh, they love to show that run against Minnesota. But that's all that is, folks. They want to keep that position wholesome and keep it clean. Now, fast forward today. They still talking about the mobile quarterback. All the people in college now that these universities are getting have black quarterbacks. A lot of them. All black quarterbacks. And those are the guys that's going to be up for the Heisman. Those pocket passing white quarterbacks, they're not going to make it. The league has changed. The world has changed. And whatever changes in college football knows win. They want to win. And you look at these guys, they can throw the ball and they can run the ball with their feet. They can make plays with their feet and they can pass. And they're smart. And they're going to keep coming out. And the NFL can't hold it no more. And now you see what's happening with Carson Wentz. What does Carson Wentz do a lot? He runs. He runs. He rolls out and makes plays with his feet, buy time, throw the ball up like he playing in college. And you know what they do for him? They cheer. They rave for Carson Wentz to do that. No, the Wentz don't have the Eagles looking decent. The Eagles defense got the Eagles looking decent. The offense is terrible. And why isn't Ray Lewis talking about these things? If you're going on TV, Ray, give them something. If you're going to talk about it on Inside the NFL, talk about these things on Inside the NFL. Because, see, none of these cops and the cops in the military, I do too much for them. But they ain't done nothing for you, Ray. Are the cops protecting your family? Is the military speaking up telling you don't threaten this man's family? How about the owner? Is the owner talking about don't take down the statue of Ray Lewis? Is he saying, I don't care what this petition is, nobody touching Ray Lewis' statue? The owner ain't even opened his mouth about you. But yet, you over there opening your mouth defending him at every call. He ain't coming out to your hat, but hey, if anything happened to Ray, he ain't care. He'll throw a parade to make some money off of it, but he ain't caring about Ray. And they want y'all to believe it's us. They, instead of coming out and saying, they know we don't start no petitions. Who black put up a petition to take down Ray Lewis's statue? We didn't start that stuff. They did. We not finna threaten the lives of your family. We just gonna cuss you out. That's about all we gonna do. But they know that, and they don't switch that. Ray should tell the media, why y'all not talking about my family's life being threatened? Y'all talking about a statue. They threatening to take down Ray Lewis's statue. Nobody's talking about the threat that was on his family's life, which weighs a lot more than a statue. But they talking about a statue. A statue could be replaced. Your family's life cannot. But they're going to attach that stigma to us. They threatened his family's life after he took a knee in London. He's not talking about that, though. When he went and took that knee in London, got on both knees with the team, other folks, pink folks, got mad at Ray Lewis, thought he was turning his back and joining up with them and turned on them. So they turned on him. And then talking about taking his statue down, threatening his family's life. That's not what we do. They did that because you got out of line. So you got scared and went on television, on ESPN, on Showtime, Inside the NFL. I didn't get on my knee. I want y'all to know I'm still good, Ray. I'm still good, Ray. I just want to, why can't we just get along? So Ray did that on the show to try to say, this is what, I forget what that Sunday stuff is. Don't take down my statue. Where are the cops? Where's the military? Where's the Ravens owner? Where are they for your defense? Well, he better pray that the military, the cops, and the owners don't want to decide that you're useless and you stop getting the bag, or your bag gonna get a little light. You see, that's why the owner got Ray Lewis, because everybody's mad at Ray Lewis. Why y'all ain't mad at that owner? The owner is the reason for all this. He's the reason. That's why Ray has been on the team. This is why he pays Ray. They got Ray out there to take the bullets. That's your job, Ray. Your job is to take all the bullets. Why do you think on a company they have a manager or a general manager for the president of the company? Because the president of the company don't want to deal with none of this stuff. The general manager's job is to take all the blows, take all the heat. People at the company can be mad at him. That's why they hire managers. Like, look, we handle the paperwork. Your job is to deal with the people. So when the people get mad, they're going to be mad at you. You take all the blows while I chill. That's what your job is. I'm paying you to take the blows. That's why he got Ray Lewis there. Ray's taking all the blows. Everybody's mad at Ray Lewis. Nobody's mad at the owner. Ray Boycotting, whatever his name is, gets to sit there, eat his Skittles, and stay back and not be bothered. Out of all this that's going on, nobody talking about Ray Boycotting or whatever his name is. Steve Boycotting, whatever. He can eat Skittles and Starbursts and everything he can want to. No. Because his affliction is admiration, vanity. See, Ray was beloved. Ray was beloved in the community. Beloved in the city. He on both sides. He's so valuable to the Ravens. That's why. When you're beloved like that, these are the type of scenarios and doors that open up for you. He loved that. He relished in doing speeches. Listen, don't do drugs, because they bad for you. And if you do drugs, you can't accomplish the great things that God got for you. They be Ray is deep. Go ahead, Ray. So Ray always talked about the Lord, spiritual, and this and that. Even though he got about 6 kids out of wedlock, just all over the place. But he's doing right by God. So I ain't finna pass judgment on him doing that. But hey, that's Ray. All of a sudden, Ray got so drunk off the fame, people forgotten about his murder case. They forgot about all of it. They loved Ray. But the time when company and people don't see eye to eye, and you got to be the one to say, whoa, what do I do here? Everybody's looking at Ray. Well, Ray, what's going to happen here? Why don't all of this happen once Colin Kaepernick was available to go to the Ravens? And they looked at Ray and said, Ray, what's up? The brothers is like, whoa, we know we getting Cap. What's going on, Ray? And the company is like, we don't want him on the team. You better go find a way to smooth this over, Ray. Go tell him. Have you seen Ozzie Newman do an interview? Now, Ozzie is the general manager of the Baltimore Ravens. He's right under Steve Boycotting. Ozzie Newsome played for the Cleveland Browns for a lot of years. Ozzie. Have you heard Ozzie do an interview? Yeah, you heard Ozzie give a statement? Why not? Why is Ray doing the statements? Ray's not general manager. Ray don't have a title. You see? You see? No. He's Pennywise, Ray Wise, the dancing clown. I'm in front of the Ravens. So, you the spokesperson. You're the voice of the Ravens. You're the dancing clown. You're the jester. Time to float. And Ray's been floating. And now he's been exposed. Now he's the one that's taking all the blows. Nobody's like, what's up with Ozzie Newman? Why Ozzie Newman couldn't get on there? They saying why Ray Lewis couldn't get Kaepernick on the Ravens. And he's mad. And then he comes out and says something stupid and blames his girlfriend. A tweet she put as the reason why he's not on the Ravens. And he boasts about it. First, that makes you look petty. There's a comment made by, not by that person, but by somebody that he dates. When Wes Welker's wife went and blasted you on Twitter and actually used your name, talked about your wives and kids, talked about you getting off for murder, talked about your wife and kids, said, how are you an idol? How are you a positive role model? And you got 4 kids. He said, you got 6 kids by 4 wives. And didn't you just get off of a murder? You never mentioned that woman's name once. Not on television, not in a tweet, nothing. You didn't say nothing, Ray. You kept shut. And what happened? They typed her apology on Twitter and put it on social media. And did anybody say Wes Welker couldn't get a job? No. He played for the Denver Broncos. They kept it moving. Nobody said a word. Why? Because he's white. Next step. So instead of everybody attacking Ray, go to Ozzie, go to Steve Burkotny and say, Steve, Ozzie Newsome, why Colin Kaepernick wasn't on the team? Screw Ray Lewis. He ain't he ain't on the staff. You're the general manager, Ozzie. You're the owner, Steve. Why isn't he on the team? Forget the distraction that's Ray Lewis. Because everyone thought they had the power because they got Ozzie in there. Yeah, Ozzie in there, man. Ozzie don't play, man. Ozzie a good brother, man. He could do what he want to do. Why isn't he not on the team? If Art Mordell was still alive and he was the owner, Cap would have been on that team. I guarantee you that. So if the people of Baltimore really cared, you would boycott going to the game. You would boycott spending your money with the Ravens. You would say until Ozzie gives us a statement or Steve gives us a statement, we are not coming to your game until you give us at least, you owe us an explanation as to why he's not on the team, and you got a guy who throws 5 interceptions as a backup in there in the game. Please explain that to us. You at least owe us that. I don't want to hear what Ray Lewis has to say. He's not on staff. Well, they're not going to do that. Well, then they're not going to have my money. See, y'all got to realize the only way you hurt rich people is in the pocketbook. You can't hurt poor people by taking money from them because they poor. They used to working with nothing. Shoot, black people power go out. Shoot, we'll run an extension cord to the neighbor's house for a minute. You know, hey, we get some extension cords together, run something down the street, run it through the grass, plug it up. Certain time we go unplug it so they don't get caught up. Blacks, you know, and poor people or whatever color denomination is, they make it work. So you can't threaten them with money. Can't threaten them with bills. Black person get a bill, they be like, man, pay that, let her feel like it, man. I ain't paying that right now. Yeah, I ain't got it, man. I might put a dub on it or something. It ain't gonna break us down. Like people with money, they get a bill, they be, honey, what's this for? Is this, my God, when did we do this? Did we pay this? Oh my God, no. Oh my God, where did this bill come from? Get the phone, babe. Oh my God. Instant panic. There's a joke that goes like this. When white people get bills, they panic. When black people get bills in the mail and their lights go out, they planned it. Like we live in the past due. Past due that extra 30 days. Oh yeah, we live in that past due. We know how to survive in there. So threatening us with money don't work. Threatening us with loss of money and stuff like that, that don't work. It only hurts people who don't know how to adjust or never had to live off those things. So Ash God, what was this question that you was asking me earlier? They probably at home. The point is, stop going to the Ravens games if you want Colin Kaepernick on the Ravens. Why come black quarterbacks are successful in college but not so in the NFL? Give me an example. Because there have been successful black quarterbacks in the NFL. There are more unsuccessful white quarterbacks that come in the league than it is black quarterbacks that come in the NFL, Ash God. It's just not pertained or not promoted to you. Do you know how many white quarterbacks get drafted? Do you know how many are out the NFL in the very next year? Do you know how many of these quarterbacks can't even really play the position, but they're still on a team? And they can't even, you wondering why they even in the NFL? But they focus and say black quarterbacks can't play. No, it's just that the systems that they played in college, a lot of them when you come to the NFL, a lot of the systems are complex. And most of the colleges that the blacks went to, most of those colleges are not real major universities that run complicated plays. Like, let's say USC. USC runs a pro format play where if you played at USC, UCLA, Those two schools run programs and plays that are similar to NFL play. Mostly a pro style, 5 receiver sets, motion, different options, spread screens. They know the codes, they know the lineups, they know what to do in different situations, how to pick up blitz calls, signals. You're taught better. Most of these black quarterbacks, they come from poor areas, so they can't, unless they get a scholarship to go to these major universities that can groom you for the pros. And some people are just smart enough where they can learn on the fly. See, what's not promoted is that a lot of these quarterbacks that are black, that come to the NFL, they have a grade point average of like 4.0. They're not stupid. They want to make you believe that all these quarterbacks are dumb. You can't be stupid to get to this level. It's just that some of them can't adjust to the speed of the NFL game. The NFL players in college, you might have 1-2 killers on defense. Some of the guys are just good. They're not going pro. Then in the NFL, everybody's a pro. Everybody, the speed of the game moves so fast, you got to be able to adjust. And some rookies is overwhelming mentally. They crack under that pressure. And some of them don't even get the opportunity. There's a lot of black quarterbacks, they got to groom or take their time. Deshaun Watson, whatever, they baptism by fire. They like, you good enough to handle this. You can go out and deal with it. He's another 4.0 grade point average. Very smart quarterback. Vince Young, mentally cracked because he was never mentally tough. Vince had it easy. He was so big and so strong and so talented. He wasn't a great passer. He didn't throw the ball correctly. He threw a sidearm pass and it threw off his accuracy. They tried to change him. He didn't want to. He had an alcohol problem. He would drink a lot. And he never had to deal with losing. He always won. From high school to college, he was loved at Texas. He was so loved at Texas. So, yeah, that's why he went back to Texas. Like, they brought him back out there for a job and work. But Vince Young felt like he was still good enough to play in the NFL. But he thought the coach threw him under the bus, Fisher, and he kind of did. Because Fisher had so much old school pull that when he went against the coach, he kind of blackballed him, but he was never going to be no more than what he was. Vince, his time had ran out. They forced him to become a pocket passer. And once they force you to pass, there's no lanes to run. You got to stay there and no one's collapsing on defense. They staying home and they forcing you to beat them with the ball. And you're not doing it. You're not going to be in the league. I would love to defend Vince Young because he's brother, man. He always right. No, because that would be wrong. He wasn't good enough. He didn't get better. He did not excel. He did not get better. Oh, Steve McNabb was the total package. Steve was the ultimate professional. When it came to playing, the Tennessee Titans did him wrong. When they locked him out of the facility. That was the worst thing I've ever seen. Man took you to the Super Bowl. The Tennessee Titans were in the Super Bowl. Do you understand that? They put Vince Young in to take his place. First, they drafted Vince Young thinking Steve was done. He goes to Baltimore, and I think he only loses like maybe 4 games his first year in Baltimore. As soon as he gets there, Fisher was about to be fired because of the way he botched the deal and how they treated Steve and everything else. And Fisher was on his way out. And Vince Young came in there and won all those games. And when Vince won all those games, that saved Steve Fisher's job. It saved his job. They've already done it to Cam Newton. Cam is injured. He's playing injured. If you've seen him play, you would not. That's not even Cam out there right now. His arm is not 100% healthy. He took too many shots. I think he has early cases of CTE. Them concussions were too much for his head. Just look at Cam 2 years ago and look at him today. He looked like a wild caveman now. He's got blonde goatee. He's more temperamental. When he was more easygoing, laid back, now he's entirely different. He speaks different. I'm like, oh my gosh. I don't know if he will ever be the same Cam he was before. I really don't. They're hating Cam because he's the exception to the rule. They want to say the black quarterbacks always run, they don't pass. He did it both. He could run and he passed. He passed for over 4,000 yards. He threw for 35 touchdowns. He won MVP. He was well spoken. He didn't have 1,000 tattoos. He kept a nice dress up suit, fashion guy. Was very nice with the kids. He was just one problem. Cam's black. How do we get around this? How do we get around this? They did not want to embrace him. They wanted to put him in the Super Bowl to embarrass him. They wanted Peyton Manning to show him what a pocket passer is supposed to be like, as opposed to a mobile running quarterback like Cam Newton when he passes for over 4,000 yards since the rookie year. So he had like 35 touchdowns. And they wasn't all running. But, okay. They go ahead. The Super Bowl, he leaves the press conference. And since he left the press conference and didn't give basically they won and stay there and take his lumps, as they would say, the next year they swallowed the whistle and let teams just helmet to helmet hits on the quarterback. Well, he's big enough to take it. That's what they would say. Well, we don't know how to judge that because he's a big guy. It's like helmet to helmet rule is illegal. It don't say if you're 280 pounds, you're a big boy, you should take it. Somebody watching. My TV off. I'm not watching. I'm recording Undisputed. I see my DVR right there. It's recording. I'm going to watch it later. But helmet to helmet is illegal. Period. If you go helmet to helmet with somebody, that's a flag. That's the rule. It don't matter if you a lineman or, well, if you run with the quarterback, it's free game. Yeah, it's free game to tackle him legally. That don't mean it's free game to hit somebody illegally. The rule book says helmet to helmet. He's used his helmet, led with his helmet. Now Cam is out with a concussion. He suffered like 2 concussions that last year. 2 major concussions. And where was the NFL for that? What did that investigation detail? Where was the union? Now, many years from now, when Cam retires, and one day he'll leave this earth, and they're going to test his brain for CTE. And when they find it, they're going to say, oh, it was because he was a mobile quarterback. He ran all the time. See what happens? They're not going to say, well, he was hit in the head illegally and we didn't call it. We didn't throw any flags to stop the defense from doing it. The man had so many hits on him with no flags. Brady look at a referee and point, and the flag will come. They changed the rule because Brady's leg got broke. A player was blocked in the Brady leg. They were looking for a way to suspend him. Until they said, man, we can't suspend this guy. He done messed up our whole plan. Brady's out for the season. New rule. You can no longer dive at nobody's legs. New rule. So once that became the play, new rule. Can't dive at quarterback's legs. All these rules were put in place to get the quarterback. When they looked at the chart to see how many roughing the passers was not called on African American quarterbacks and how many was called on other quarterbacks, you would be baffled when you go investigate that number. I guess they feel, well, the black quarterbacks, they could take it. Oh, yeah, they protect their babies. Aaron Rodgers, a.k.a. Sharon Rodgers, Tom Brady. Even Big Ben don't even get the respect like that. No, but he's the man. Now, you can't take that away from Tom Brady. Tom Brady wasn't selected to be where he is. He worked his butt off to get there. See, that's the thing about Tom. I'm in a catch-22 right now. I bet against the Chicago Bears that they won't win more than 5 games this year. But I hate Sharon Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Hate them with a passion. So, tonight I'm in catch-22. Because if the Bears win, that means they can only win 3 more games the entire year. They'll have 2 wins. And I will not be happy. Oh, I hate Green Bay. I hate the team. I hate everything about because they got Sharon Rodgers, and I don't like Sharon Rodgers at all. No, I like Favre. I don't. You see, I like a real quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I know real from fake. See, that's the difference with me. I know real from fake. When I see Brett Favre, that's a winner. That's a quarterback. That's somebody that's going to go down the march with me. That's somebody that's going to war. He going to go to battle on that field with me. And he going to play every game. He played when it was real. When there wasn't no helmet-to-helmet rules or nothing. They were hitting Brett, knocking Brett out. Brett played every game. Every game. Brett's a soldier. They don't make Bretts no more. They don't make no Brett Favres no more. You give me Brett Favre over this bum every day. Brett was 3-time MVP in the NFL. 3-time MVP. Even the 1 year they had a tie with him and Barry Sanders. It was really Barry's year. Went to back-to-back Super Bowls. Went back to the Eastern Conference, National NFC Championship games. Yeah, I give Favre his props. Favre is a winner. That was the man. You think his stats up there with Sharon Rodgers? You imagine what Favre would do in a league today where you can't even touch the quarterback? What Brett Favre would do? You think Sharon Rodgers got a stronger arm than Brett? Brett Favre was magic. He was respected on every team in the NFL. The gunslinger. I'm taking number 4 over that bum that they got in there, Sharon Rodgers, any day of the week. A lot of them picks wasn't his fault, bro. Guys ran the wrong route. And Brett had to take the blunt of it because it comes from Brett. People didn't realize when he had the magical season in Green Bay, when they were supposed to play the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, the magical year. His magical season in Green Bay, when he leads them to the NFC Championship game. In the coldest game probably on record. The temperatures were ridiculous. They played the Giants. Brett Favre leads them to the game-winning field goal that's going to send them to the Super Bowl. The kicker missed the field goal. He missed the field goal to send the Packers to the Super Bowl. He missed it. The Giants get the ball. Well, we go to overtime. That's what happened. He missed. We went to overtime. The game goes into overtime. In overtime, Packers get the ball. Brett Favre throws an interception. They kick a field goal and go to the Super Bowl. Everybody blames Brett Favre. The kicker who missed the field goal to send them to the Super Bowl, no one mentions his name. He goes to the Minnesota Vikings. His first year in Minnesota, they go to the NFC Championship game. Brett Favre kills the entire NFL that year. He goes to the NFC Championship game. They are playing the New Orleans Saints. The year of Hurricane Katrina. They got the Saints beat. There are like 5 to 6 fumbles in the game. Adrian Peterson fumbles the ball like 4 times. Nate Burleson fumbles the ball all when they're in the red zone or getting ready to score. They still were in the game. And what happened? They lose to a field goal in overtime. And that altered the Super Bowl when it was going to be the Vikings versus the Colts in the Super Bowl. Old Lion versus Young Lion. Peyton Manning versus Brett Favre. That Super Bowl got ruined. And we end up seeing Drew Brees and the Saints win. As long as the Saints won, I'm okay. But don't tell me about what Brett Favre can do. When this bum, Aaron Rodgers, can't even get you back to the NFC Championship game. He been to one Super Bowl, that one fluke year, they snuck in and snuck everybody. When they came in as the wild card, having to win the last game of the season just to get in. And they snuck everybody. Ever since then, he's supposed to have been the best quarterback in the league. Why he can't get you to the championship game? He can't get you back to the Super Bowl. And you're putting him over Brett Favre? It's disrespectful. Y'all would have lost last week if they didn't have Dalton in there as quarterback. Andy Dalton. If they didn't have him as quarterback, there's no way they lose that game. Green Bay sucks. And I'm going to watch them go down tonight. And then from that point, we're going to move forward. But I'm through talking about Ray. We've covered everything. We're done. I'm out.